Right, we need to cancel Stephen King. Jasper, come here. We need to cancel Stephen King. Come here, mate. Come on. Come and cancel Stephen King. Come on, look. Come and cancel. Look, you see him? Do you see him there? He's a fucking racist. Do you see that? He's a racist. We need to cancel Stephen King, ladies and gents. Good God. I jest. What is this trash? Cancel Stephen King. Stephen King took to Twitter to say something very reasonable. Very reasonable, but as always, he was labelled scum. Of course he was. As a writer, I'm allowed to nominate in just 3 categories. Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Screenplay. For me, the diversity issue, as it applies to individual actors and directors anyway, did not come up. That said, now that's quite reasonable, right? That said, I would never consider diversity in matters of art. Only quality. It seems to me that to do otherwise would be wrong. Jasper, we need to kill Stephen King. Yes, we do. Kill Stephen King. He's a racist. He's a dirty racist. This is nonsense, isn't it? This is just absolute nonsense. What is wrong with this statement? When judging art, do we bring race into it? No, because the art is what you're judging. The art, you win on the merit of the art, not the merit of your race. Is that not... That's racist, isn't it? To judge someone based on their race. I can't be the only one here. I genuinely can't be the only one saying this, right? I mean, it seems to be... The world's gone crazy. And then he continues, right? Because I think he felt like he had to defend himself. The most important thing we can do as artists and creative people is make sure everyone has the same fair shot. Perfectly reasonable statement. Regardless of sex, colour or orientation. Right now, such people are badly underrepresented, and not only in the arts, and he continues, right? So you can't win awards when you're shut out of the game. Now, what he's saying here is, I'm not going to judge people based on their skin, orientation, their diversity, right? I feel we should give everyone a fair shot, and then we can judge people based on their art. So let's assess the establishment itself, the status quo. Does that allow everyone a fair shot? Yes, no, okay. Let's change it or let's not change it. And then based off of that, we can then judge people fairly on the merit of the art. Why do you want handouts? Why do you want a handout? So, obviously this then spiraled off with other idiots coming onto the fray. You know, Stephen King faces backlash over comments on Oscar diversity. I've just done a video on this. Why do you want handouts? Why? I would hate to win an award just because of my skin colour. You know? Did you know, ladies and gents, the only reason this channel is popular is because of my voice. Coincidentally, because when I was just a disembodied voice like this, most people thought I was actually black. So how do you account for that? That's funny, isn't it? You go to my face reveal video, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone was thinking, I thought you were black. But remember, so oppressed. You are so oppressed, ladies and gentlemen, in absolutely everything. Garbage. Now, Ava DuVernay, apparently living in perpetual self-imposed oppression, when you wake up, you meditate, you stretch. Reach for your phone to check on the world and see a tweet from someone you admire that is so backwards and ignorant, you want to go back to bed. Now, sorry, Ava DuVernay, you directed famously a movie, was it A Wrinkle in Time, where Brie Larson came out and said that this was not made for white people. How dare you then jump on Twitter in an attempt to lecture people about what is backwards? you are probably, for all intents and purposes, a little bit racist. I know, it probably hurts to hear. But when all you can see and you want to be judged and awarded on is because of your skin colour, I would say that's probably racist. To some degree. If you believe everyone else is being rewarded on their skin colour, then you are probably racist as well. And all of these people, they only see black and white. They only see black and white. Because when you then look at the other outliers, like, oh, well, I mean, Parasite, for instance, done very well, isn't it? Oh, Hilda something. The woman who has been nominated for and won many, many awards this award season for her score on Joker. Oh, you know, doesn't matter. All of these diversity, you know, things that are creeping in now, it doesn't matter. Because unless you're black, it doesn't matter. Mental. Absolutely mental. And then we've got this one. Brittany Packett Cunningham. Quoted him, said, "You can't win awards if you shout out of the game." True. But let's extend this. Representation is only step one. You say you seek quality in film. Until tastes are expanded, mostly traditional white narratives and styles will actually be deemed quality. So how do you account for the South Korean films coming through that are lauded as utter masterpieces? Train to Busan? Epic film. It is a cult classic. It is in fact being remade in white Hollywood. Huh? How do you account for... well, many South Korean films. I can't even remember the film. I should know this because I've done a video on it, but it was remade and the white one was considered notably shitter. It starred Josh Brolin in the role. God damn, why can't I remember the name? Epic Twist, which the Hollywood remake chose not to go down. That one is absolutely staggering. So how do you account for that? When you seek quality in film until tastes are expanded. So you're trying to force people to like other things. Watch the last season of Bravo Top Chef as a lesson. Top chefs and judges in the industry had never even experienced West African cuisine. The chef who specialised in it made it far but didn't win, in part because his food was seen as rustic and not elevated. This happens in multiple industries. The things coming from and pertaining to spaces of colour and cultures outside of Europe are seen as cute but primitive. Ghetto until proven fashionable, right? I'm pretty sure if I went on a chef programme and made fucking fish and chips, they'd be like, get off my programme, mate. Pretty sure if I went on there and made shepherd's pie or cottage pie, they'd be like, get off my programme, mate. Because funnily enough, that is primitive, that is rustic, that is cute, and that is wholesome British cuisine. But my racism, my diversity, fuck off. Really is just garbage. And it continues, right? Yes, talent is even distributed, opportunity is not. Right. You also can't win awards if you're a bad reality TV show host, isn't that right? And bloody Donald Trump. Fucking these people, it's just insane. Correct, there should be more non-white roles in film, but this has to start with more non-white writers and directors getting a fair chance at making those movies. The need for quality roles goes beyond the realm of actors. You would think now, living in this epically woke culture, that actually the opportunity is massive. In fact, it is massive. Like, we're getting gender bending all over the place with characters, swapping, race swapping characters. I constructively critiqued the Stephen Moffat BBC Netflix Dracula by saying historical revisionism of the 1800s Budapest took me out of the film a little bit. Seeing black and Asian nuns took me out of the series. And everyone was like, you're a racist, you're a bigot. Yet these same people would cry whitewashing if a historical dramatization in Japan had white people in it. You are all raging hypocrites. You're all raging hypocrites, you morons. There's literally nothing else. There's nothing else to say here, is there? And then look, Velvet's List. That's a good backpedal, white boy. You racist. If I went, oh, that's, you winded your neck back in, black boy. I would be absolutely strung up. Wouldn't I? But no, not good. Not allowed to say that? No, of course not. Hold on 1 second. I'll slap my wrist for it. Like, Jesus Christ. And like, honestly, the comments which were coming out around this are even better. It is genuinely nonsense. Good to know just white men who produce quality in those categories. Not... What? But if you look at what was made this year, there's nothing out of place there, is it? They were all fantastic. Unreal. And the fact that he said, I would never consider diversity in matters of art. Let's have a look at this stuff. Let's look at the replies. As a fan, this is painful to read from you. It implies that diversity and quality cannot be synonymous. They are not separate things. Quality is everywhere, but most industries only believe in quality from one demographic, and now here you are. Did you enjoy those 15.6k likes, Roxanne Gay? Because I'm going to give you your 15 minutes of fame and people are going to think you're an idiot. All he was saying was, I don't feel like judging someone's skin colour when I'm reviewing their movie. That is racist. And this is from someone who is quite, left. This is what it comes back to. The left begins to eat itself. Because unless you are super, super, super far left, you're not in with the crowd anymore. Because you can't have reasoned debate with these people. You can't have a reasoned argument. Like, I did a video on Picard's series coming out, right? And I said I don't feel like talking about current events like Brexit and Trump and having them literally front and centre in the narrative of the story, as quoted direct by Patrick Stewart, is going to be a recipe for success. Because people's opinions peak and trough and change. And I've been called many, many things. A Trump supporter. Mate, I live in fucking UK. How can I be a Trumpist? You idiot. You utter idiot. Now that is a reasonable statement to make. That is a reasonable statement to make based on literally just TV. I said exactly the same thing. You can go back and you can look at my predictions for Terminator Dark Fate. There's a video titled Terminator Dark Fate, Politics Will Ruin This Movie or something like that. And I predicted it back then. People don't like being preached to overly on massively up recent political events. Why? Because people keep peaking, troughing and changing on these things. You can't do it. It's a recipe for disaster. And this is exactly it. You can't have reasoned debate with these people. Someone who's considered part of the left, Stephen King, is now being hung, drawn and quartered by people he would have called his own. It's laughable. And this is why ultimately it will fail. That whole rampant fundamentalist. And that's what we're talking about here. Because people on the left and the right are fine, but it's fundamentalists on either side. You know, fundamentalists that want to, fundamental rightists that are massively racist. They're idiots. Fundamental leftists that think that uncontrolled mass immigration is fine. They're idiots. The people that just sit centre left and centre right, perfectly fine. Reasonable. You can have an actual discussion with these people. There's no issue either way. But the far left, the fundamentalists, will destroy themselves as a result of distancing anyone that doesn't sit with them. Just like the far right did. Exactly the same as the far right. And this is it. You can witness it. It's happening around us. It is laughable. When you or your loved ones need life-saving surgery, would you choose your surgical team on the basis of diversity? Just wondering. True. Sir, respectfully saying you as a white man... Ah, here we go. David Weissman. Sir, respectfully, saying you as a white man can't really say that. You had more advantages and opportunities than a person of colour would have. They have been wrongfully held back in so many ways just because of their colour skin. Ah, them woke points. Do they feel good? Them 6.7 thousand woke points. But you saying this from white privilege. Oh god, I've done a video on this on my second channel. I'll leave it linked down below. I'll leave it linked above actually. I wrote a quality children's book on Ilhan Omar last summer, and the struggle to get it published was painful, and ultimately it didn't happen. I have zero idea how to live in my... You have zero idea how to live in my world where I can't even find one book like this for my child. You wrote one, you idiot. Give that to your child. Like, what? Those who can do, right? With all due respect, I'm afraid that a meritocracy could work only if the game weren't rigged. Of course, it's rigged. It must be rigged. It's stacked against the brown man.